Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm James Brack. I'm super happy to be back here with another race on Zwift. I'm still learning and still figuring this thing out. We're doing stage 3, fresh out of 24. I've got my friend Steven Quintero back from the first video. He's rocking a pink Tron bike. In the first race, I managed to finish P10, so top 10, which later translated to a P9. Not exactly sure why, but we'll take it. Steven had a bit of an issue sticking with the front group in the first race and got separated after the first climb. And that's something that I'm starting to understand about Zwift is that the climbs are really where things get decided. So again, in this race, I'm just going to give everything I got in the climbs and just try and make it to the end. And if I've got legs for a decent little sprint, then maybe we can make a top 10 again. But we'll see. Let's jump in. As I get myself all set up there and comfortable, let's talk about the parkour today. We're doing the loop-de-loop 2 times, so 2 laps. And the loop-de-loop is pretty much undulating for the first 3 quarters, and then we hit the Zwift calm, which is an effort of about 2 minutes. In the end, we'll see that I did my PR on that, so I did it exactly at 2 minutes. And so it feels like we're just going to have to hang on, and then when we get to the climb, just give everything we got. To try and stick with the head group, because if we don't, there's no chance of getting a good finish. Okay, so I'm going to give it that kick at 1 second. I'm ramping up a bit, and then boom, 400 or so. And every time I do that, I'm right up front, super comfortable. I wait for the peloton to catch up. I kind of like this trick. I don't know if everybody's doing this, and maybe I'm just like proud of this thing that is totally normal. But anyway, there I am, Steven Quintero, number 1. I don't know what he's doing all the way up there. You're wasting watts, my guy. Anyway, we're just settling in. It doesn't feel too crazy on the legs yet. There we are sitting just underneath my FTP, which I guess is not something I want to be doing for 35 minutes, but that's okay for the start. And I'm assuming things will calm down at some point before we get to the Zwift calm so that I can recover and be ready for that big effort. I don't know if anybody noticed, but I'm kind of rocking left and right on my trainer, on my bike. And I don't have a kicker plate or anything like that, for those of you who know what that is, because I don't want to put the money into that, and it also takes a lot of space in my little tiny apartment in Paris. But I did get these new feet for my Wahoo kicker that I found on Etsy. They're 3D printed. It's the tennis ball thing here. I'm gonna post it up on the screen right now. These things just attach just right onto the legs of the Wahoo kicker, and they give me some of that lateral movement that I'm hoping is going to help me out with the sprint, because I don't know, it's just something that doesn't feel very realistic in the way that the bike reacts during the sprint. And then for those long kind of zone 2, honestly, any Zwift ride, I've found that things are just a little bit more comfortable on the saddle. And you get that little kind of natural feel of things moving a little bit underneath your feet. So it isn't just so static. So yeah, for anybody that's looking to solve those problems, check it out. 10 out of 10 recommend. I'll post a link in the description below. Back to the race. Things have not settled down. We're still doing a lot of power to stay with everybody, but I feel less stressed out than I did in the first race. I think the first race, I was like, at any moment I could get dropped. My race is over. I've become emotionally invested in these things, and would just hate to have my race be over in 10 minutes because I couldn't hang on to these little bumps and lumps before we get to the big climbs. So yeah, I mean, there I go off the front again. One of the main things I have to try and do is be able to just settle into this pack like I'm doing right now, but like from start to finish. I would love to finish these races and have one of the lower averages in power. Obviously still make a good result, like get a good result and do what I need to do. But I just feel like there's a lot more coasting that I could be doing, quote unquote coasting, doing less power and just sticking with the group and never being that guy up front, never pushing the effort. And for some reason, just accidentally I wind up in front. I'm not gonna, see, like right now, I'm up front. I don't know why I'm up front. I was just giving kind of normal watts, but maybe that's just kind of how it goes. It just kind of trades positions, and some people are up front, and then the peloton catches up, and that's just the effect of the game. Because it's not real life; it's a game where we're all winners, but there will be some losers. myself included for sure. But yeah, especially right here, we're coming to the first climb. And I have a funny feeling things are going to break apart. There are 89 of us. There's no way that there are 89 people in the group when we get to the top. And so yeah, it's a 1 kilometer climb, expecting it to take about 2 minutes. There it started. Everybody has their power-ups going and everything, their feathers, their plumes, but I of course don't have anything, and I weigh 75 kilos, so that's not boding in my favor. And I can feel the hurt. There I am doing 420 watts. I guess I'm gonna have to hold that for about 2 minutes. This little bump halfway through, this little flat section, I kind of enjoy when those show up because I like a linear effort, so I just like never stop. I dipped a little bit there, but I just keep going, hoping that will be to my advantage, that other people might think, oh, I can rest a second, and I can catch up a few places. As we get to the top, I can see on the mini map on the top right that things are just extremely strung out. So I'm hoping that with this little group of people in front of me and behind me, we're going to create a little group de tête, a little front group, and we're going to finish the race off all together with a little bit less competition. But man, look at that graph. That's a lot of red. My heart rate at 175. That's not my maximum. My maximum's like 185 these days. 184 to be exact. Well, at least that's all I've seen in the last year or so. So yeah, that was a serious little effort. You can see me on the left there. I'm just like, I'm like mouth breathing and sweating and just trying to look at the watts. The watts are still super high. Yeah. Anyway, we're using the truck to try and recover a little bit, and it's working. So that's cool. I like the truck, but I do really wish I had the feather for the climbs, so I didn't have to do quite as many watts. But that's life. While we're on this little descent to the sprint line, and then we're going to run another lap of the loop-de-loop, there were a couple things I wanted to talk about. In my last video, I got a comment about my power. So I did the 3.8 watts per kilo average on the race, and I finished P9, so I didn't win. But anyway, somebody was like, that's way too much power. He was really nice about it. But anyway, he mentioned that I was doing a lot of power for a Cat C race. And so I think I have 2 takeaways from that. The first one is, as I mentioned, I need to try and be like I am right now, just sitting in the pack, doing as little power as possible, so I can hopefully bring that 3.8 down on average, so that I'll have a little bit more freshness for the sprint, and just generally not be spending energy that I don't need to be spending, although it's a great workout, so nobody's really complaining. So that's number one. And then number 2 is that, like, I'm running, whoa. Anyway, weird glitch. There I go off the front. What am I doing off the front? Anyway, he will learn maybe. So yeah, anyway, I'm in Cat C because of the racing score. Why does it keep glitching like that? Weird. So yeah, Cat C racing score. So I have 496 racing score, and I know that the upper limit is 520. I've only done a few races, so maybe I do have too much power for a Cat C, but I haven't won yet. So I'm going to keep going until I win, I think. But yeah, maybe I do have a little bit too much power, but I do clearly have things to learn, because I think I could bring that power down, do better in these races. And then eventually the goal is to bump up. Oh yeah, we just keep glitching all over the place. What? Yeah, because like if I get bumped up to Cat C right now, I'm already kind of just barely hanging on to these things. I do all right, I guess, in the group, in the front group. So if I wind up in the Cat B, am I going to be like thrown off the back? I don't know. Maybe I should do a Cat B race one of these days. Am I allowed to do that if I don't have the right racing score? I don't know. I'm do a couple more of these Cat C races and just get comfortable. So anyway, I hope I'm not like ruining Category C or something like that. I don't think I am. But now I'm insecure. But my defense is that I'm doing these on Thursdays. On Tuesdays, I have training with the team, and we do a lot of threshold, and we do a lot of high intensity stuff. And then I do this, and then later in the week, I do a lot of zone 2 and maybe some sprints, etc. So like it's kind of hard to tell where my legs are going to be come Thursday's race. So for this race, for instance, I wasn't like super fresh. So I don't know if I threw myself into a Cat B race. I Maybe we'll have to try it. Anyway, we're coming up to the last climb, the second climb on the loop-de-loop. We have a smaller group. I think we've got like 30 some odd guys in this group. And my boy Steven has stuck with us. There he is, in pink. Super proud of him, and he was really happy with his effort this race. But yeah, so here we come on the climb, and I don't know why, but I decided that I would just go a little bit earlier than the start of the climb, because the climb didn't hurt enough the first time. So there I am, totally on my own. I kind of wanted to see where everybody was at. Did get a feather this time. I was super excited about that, and decided I would save it for the second half, when I would probably be a little bit more tired in my effort. But I kind of wanted to see where everybody's legs were at, and well, it looks like everybody has better legs than I do. So I'm glad that I tried that, but once again, it's super hard to get off the front on Zwift. I feel like you got to be sending major watts. I'm doing about 5.5 watts per kilo. Sent the feather, and it's working, except for this one guy who's just flying by. I'm actually catching some people, so I feel good about that. I'm maintaining the same power. And my plan is to really just push all the way to the end, all the way to the banner, not just the end of the red on the little mini map there, because I know that this last section right here is going to be kind of important. My guess is that I think we've reduced the group down a bit. I'm in recovery mode, so I don't know why my avatar is so far off the front. But I wanted to catch this guy's wheel and just roll with him for a second. As we recover before the sprint, which again, I'm nervous for, because last time I really did mess it up. I feel like I did a good race last time all the way to the last kilometer, and then things just kind of passed by me. Things just kind of happened without me being in any sort of control. So my goal is to not miss the moment. I recon the sprint a little bit. So I found out where I could probably start sprinting and have about a 15 to 20 second effort. And then I'm hoping with my new legs on the Wahoo that I'm going to have just a bit of a better feeling, and hopefully my watts will look a lot closer to real life outdoor watts. Yeah, everybody, to my pleasant surprise, was just kind of chilling in zone 2 up until this point. So now we're inside the last kilometer. I reconned it, and I plan to go after the last turn. There are 2 bridges. Anyway, I geeked out on this because I really just wanted to get this right. But anyway, there are 2 bridges. I have to start sprinting at the first bridge, and then I counted in my head 15, 20 seconds, and it seems about right. So it is this turn right up here. When we turn to the right, there are a couple of bridges, and we're going to go. So I'm giving too much power. I need to be using less power. Anyway, it's this bridge right here. Oh yeah, so I ramped up even earlier than I had planned. Oh boy, and I have no power up. But I am seeing 800 watts. Last sprint, I was only at like 650, 600 watts for the sprint. So as I was seeing those numbers, I was like, all right, cool. Like I was kind of stoked. And I didn't like miss the jump, didn't miss the boat. So yeah, finished P7, top 10 finish in my second Zwift race. Still learning. I'm in a lot of pain. But I was super happy with this result. And again, just trying to get better, trying to get that sprint higher, trying to get the numbers throughout the race a little bit lower and a little bit more under control to take advantage of the game effect. Thanks for watching, and feel free to let me know what you thought. And if you have any tips for me in the comments below, I would really appreciate them. They help a lot, and we keep growing. I'm gonna throw up the table from the race for the actual numbers from this race, and let's hit the outro music. Boom.